Good evening, YouTube. Hardball Crazy Comeback video. You know what I like to do when my college alma mater makes it to the wins today and makes it to the Sweet 16? I like to look at some baseball cards, and basketball cards, and football cards, and hockey cards. I'll explain that in a minute. You all know me as a baseball card collector. That's my specialty. That's what I love. Baseball is my favorite sport. And but I do have a side PC, as you can tell by the uh, title of this video. I plugged some holes in my PC, and it's not in my baseball card PC, it's in my side PC. My second PC is I collect players from my college alma mater, Michigan State University. I have these binders here, right here. They're all cards of players who played at Michigan State. They're not all Michigan State college cards, they're pro cards, minors, pros, professional, European. There's German hockey cards. There's Australian cards. It's all over the world. Swedish cards, all over the world. And one baseball, three basketball, like five football, and three hockey. And I always collected baseball growing up, but I never had any intention. And my brother collected a lot of football, so I kind of was where we collected. And one time I went to my local car shop, my little town growing up. It lasted a couple years, and I found this card in the showcase, and I didn't know much about hockey at all. I just know some names from obviously because I grew up way in the boonies out in the country, too far away from Detroit to get Red Wing games regularly. Uh, and they were never on local regular TV, so I never be able to watch hockey games. So I couldn't tell you what a hat trick was until I got to college because I had never watched how they watched a hockey game. But I just knew a few names from the news, like Wayne Gretzky and Mario Lemieux nationally, and just from local 6 o'clock, 11 o'clock news. I knew who like Steve Eiserman and Bob Probert was, Peter Klima. I think those big names, and a few Michigan State guys when they were covering Michigan State games on the local stations. And so I went to my local car shop. I found this hockey card. I just recognized him from being a Michigan State for the local news. His name is Mitch Messier. It's a minor league card of him with the Kalamazoo Wings, and it's signed by him. So I'll pick this card up. He's, by the way, Messier. Yes, he's a second cousin, I think, of Mark Messier. Mitch and his younger brother Jody Messier played at Michigan State. So I picked this card up with no intention of collecting hockey cards, but I just had I don't know, urge, a need, a must have to buy this card. And so I bought it, and with no intention of collecting hockey cards, no saying, oh, I'm going to start collecting guys with Michigan State. I didn't think of that at all the time. So I just bought it, threw it in a junk drawer in my nightstand by my nightstand, and just kind of forgot about it and moved on to my baseball card collection. Got into college my freshman year. Befriended a fellow student on my dorm floor, and he collected cards too. And but he was a huge football fan, and of course I'm more a baseball fan, but I liked football more some back in the day too. And we got to start talking stuff, and then we had an agreement. We started. Let's start to collect. Each of us start collecting guys who play Michigan State. So that's what we did. So we grabbed all the annual Big Beckett books. Has all the checklists, all the sets of all the history, and we grabbed them all the Michigan State media guys from each sport: basketball, football, baseball, hockey, and we used in those media guys. We used the pages in the back with guys who they always list the guys who played in the pros, what years they played, and what teams they played for. So we kind of cross-referenced the names and created a big database of cards of players who went to Michigan State. So that's what we did, and we started helping each other out, and each building us a huge Michigan State collection. And I did that a lot in the '90s, and I don't do much now. I just basically just pick up the more recent guys to make sure I still stay on top of all. I still have all the guys who played. Um, so I went to shows in Detroit, car shows, picking up Michigan State guys. We actually did a road trip one time to those the big shows in Toronto, outside Toronto. We went to one of those one year, and I picked up a bunch of CFL guys who played CFL, a bunch of hockey guys. Hockey cards is much more readily available in Canada, obviously. So I was able to pick up pretty much all the guys I have, and I don't want to be braggadocious, but I pretty much have every player who played in the four major leagues. I have a card of who played at Michigan State that has a card. There's some like football cards, like some guys in the 80s and 70s and 60s who played maybe a handful of games or maybe one season, like a backup running back, a linebacker started a few games, and special teams players, backup quarterbacks, whatever. And they never had cards, so I don't have cards of them. But guys who do have cards, I pretty much have everybody over the years. In hockey, there's like over 80 NHL players who played in NHL who actually played at Michigan State too. I have at least one item from my collection. I also tried to get every item, every Spartan who ever played in the Olympics. And there's guys who played in multiple countries too, whether their heritage is from or they played professionally in that league, in that country who hosted that year's Olympics. Like, for example, this past year, Italy hosted the hockey Olympics, and so a player who was Michigan State player was playing professional in Italy at the time was able to be on the Olympic team. Kind of weird, but that's how it works. But during the Olympics, I was searching for this one player who was filling my hole in my collection. I found this item, and I ended up winning it. Came all the way from Germany. You all aware of the 1980 Olympics with Miracle on Ice? That was not the first time the U.S. won the gold medal in hockey. The first time was actually 1960 and Squaw Valley, and there's two Spartans on that team. One is Weldon Olson. You're all familiar with these all-time great college sets that have made several of these over the from 90 of different schools, different colored borders. I know there's a North Carolina set, there's an Arizona State set, there's a North Carolina set, there's a UCLA, Arizona State, there's a whole bunch of Notre Dame, I think, has a set. Anyways, I ended up picking this set up in the early 90s. I bought this set, and Weldon Olson's in it. And the other player for that 60 team, his name is Gene Grazia. And he has no items, but I did find this, I think it's a legit autograph, an autograph photo of him with U.S. Olympic, showcase U.S. Olympics, signed by him possibly, I don't know. But it's an item that I can easily place in my binder representing him in my Olympics, so I can have every Olympic player who played at Michigan State in my binder. Huge hole in my. I've been looking for a Gene Grazia item. I knew what there's anything ever existed. I just did a search for his name during the Olympics. Just it's Olympic time. It's in my forefront of mind, and it also popped up. Bought it from Germany. Took a little bit to get here, but I got it from there. Second item I had up was a football item. You're all familiar with. You might not realize he played basketball in college. Never played football in the college. Only played basketball. His name is Pete Gent, or Peter Gent. Recognize the name? Yes, he's the author of North Dallas 40. He played football for the Dallas Cowboys. He does not have any football cards, but he does have some team-issued photos of some sort. And I found one on the internet, eBay, a while back. It was like uber expensive. Like, I'm not paying this much for this. But recently found this one at a much more reasonable price. So I picked up this Peter Gent Dallas Cowboys from 1968, like team issue photo of some sort. I gotta get an 8x10 sleeve to put in my binder, and finally have a Pete Gent item in my football binder to go along with his basketball card, my basketball binder. Another huge hole in my collection. I'm looking for a Pete Gent item and a Gene Grazia item forever. Another item in my collection is a player you probably never heard of, but he was one of the first Michigan State two-way stars, two sports stars years ago. Um, if you're old enough to remember, Penn State in the mid '90s or so, early '90s, was the became the 11th member of the Big Ten. No longer become the Big Ten, but the Big Ten. Now there's what 16 or so. Some college sports is all nuts right now. But anyways, prior to Penn State, the actual 10th school making the Big Ten was actually Michigan State. They got included in the Big Ten in like 1948, I believe. And their first football season, officially Big Ten football season, was '53, in which they won the Rose Bowl that year because they scheduled football games years in advance, so that's why they're so far. Like the first basketball season was like the next year or something like that, the Big Ten. But the starting quarterback and that '53 Rose Bowl team, and they actually a '52 national championship undefeated team, 9-0 team with Biggie Munn as a coach, was Tommy Usich. Boys had a football card of him too. It was all-time great set. I have actually a baseball card of him in my binders. Another all-time great Michigan State baseball. But he was also a baseball star at Michigan State too. He won, in addition to being a quarterback and punter at Michigan State, he was also a star player in baseball, and he helped lead the Michigan State to the College World Series in 1954, I think, 53, 54. And he was the College World Series MVP. Michigan State lost in the semifinals. He still won the MVP despite going to the not winning the College World Series. I think that's the only time Michigan State's ever been to College World Series. But Big Ten champs and both sports. He did end up playing pro baseball initially, the Detroit Tigers. He only played one game, the Detroit Tigers. And I saw this item a while back and did not buy it because I think it was overpriced or the condition was bad or something. I can't remember exactly, but I put on my search list, and is a Tommy Usich, J.D. McCarthy postcard with him in the Tigers uniform. He played like one game with the Tigers, been around the minor leagues for a little bit. Then he ended up playing pro football, the AFL, with the Boston Patriots. So in addition to having a football card, I wanted a baseball card with the Tigers uniform to my tiger binder of them. It's signed back in the back to Mike. I don't really care if it was signed at all. I just wanted him in the Tiger uniform for my PC, and having Tommy Usich baseball and football cards in my PC. There's 3 huge holes in my collection. One other addition to my collection, I was watching WBC, and I noticed a pitcher playing for Canada, Indigo Diaz. He went to Michigan State. So I had to buy a baseball card, minor league card of him. I don't know if he's ever going to make it to major leagues. He's somewhere in the minor leagues. I think he's been in the Braves system, the Yankees system. Right now he's reached as high as AA, I think. I'm not sure if he's ever going to make the majors, but I have a card of somebody who actually played at WBC with the Michigan State. I had to get that, sort of like the baseball's Olympics type deal. So I picked up Indigo Diaz. So I don't really like to share. I don't share much on my Michigan State PC. If you want me to delve into more about it, showcase some more cards, I have kind of a whole few things here and there, some rare cards in there, but I concentrate on baseball. It's a baseball channel, and my next videos will be about baseball. But I had to share these big holes I filled in my collection. And thank you for watching. You all have a good night.